Squeak squeak, I'm Chizo, and today we are going to be jumping into a Twitch redeems and channel interaction video. So, in this video I will be covering how to set up commands for your Twitch chat, how to set up Twitch bit redeems. I'll also cover some minor things like particle effects when you get a new follower and stuff like that. So, yeah, let's jump straight into it. Alright, so the first one that we're going to be doing today is the Twitch bits redeem. Now, you can do whatever you like for this. You can have a follower pop-up, but just for this tutorial I'm going to use it as a demonstration for a basic throw, because that's what I have set up for my personal streams and it's just a good introduction. So, first thing you want to do is you want to come over into your blueprints area. You want to create a new blueprint, and you can name this whatever you want. I am just going to name this bit redeem. Okay. Now, the way that we get started with this is super simple. If you're using Twitch, which you should be for this tutorial specifically, you want to search for the on Twitch channel bits received right here. Drag that into your scene, and here you will see the different exit nodes. So, this will be sort of your main branch that you want to use. So this is the branch that connects to the action, if that makes sense. All of these will connect to the if variables, if you understand what that is. So say the message has to say something specific when the bits are received, it will connect in here. So for this tutorial I'm going to do it that when a certain amount of bits are donated, it will throw a bit at my face, because that's what I have set up in my streams. So for this, you want to look for integer up here, and it would be integer greater than or equal right here. Then we just connect the total bits used to option A up here. The A will be sort of your if connector, and then down here is the variable itself. So the smallest bit icon that you can get, I believe, is 1000, so I'm going to set that to 1000 if 1000 bits are redeemed. And then we want an if branch over here. So this is our variable, and then this is the action, and we just want to connect this to our if branch over here, with the output boolean being the condition. So what this does is that when the Twitch bits are received of greater than 1000 or equal to 1000, then you get an activation. Sorry, I'm struggling to think, it's been a long day. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to go for this example, I'm going to be using throw prop. Now, this can look a little daunting at first, because it's got a lot of stuff going on here and it seems a little scary. but I promise it is super simple. So all you want to do is, if true, connect that here, and this activates this. Now here you just have your target type. You want it to be the character, or you can have it be a scene object. It's up to you, depends on how you want to set up whatever your redeem is. But for the sake of this, I'm using a character. Target character will just usually be character. Sometimes it'll have a name, but most often than not, it will just say character. And then here you can choose your prop source. Correct that because I got it wrong. So you can use whatever prop you like. I like to use the Twitch bits. Now what we can do here is I can press this, and you should see it throws something at my character. I hope. I can't see it, so hopefully you can. If not, I'll edit in an example over here. Okay, so now that you have your prop source, and you can also use the preview gallery if you aren't willing to look for the specific names. I have a lot of props downloaded from the gallery, and here you can see we have these here. This is the one I'm going to be using. And I can't remember who made these, but I will, if I can find it. I'll either record it, I'll edit it in to the video, or I'll leave a link in the description if that's a thing that you can do. I'm not sure. But as you can see, I have a lot of different props. So I'm going to connect that. Here you can add impact particles. You can do whatever you want for these. I'm personally just going to go through these, and I'm going to look for one that matches the color. And I'm probably going to use a confetti one, I think. Because I like the confetti ones, and I'm going to use the Valentine rain. Okay. So if you want to test this, just to make sure that this looks how you want it, you can also go for on keystroke pressed and temporarily set this up as your width. Yeah, so for now you can just connect a keystroke press into your throw prop just to test how it looks. Yeah, so there we can see when I press the plus button on my numpad, it throws a bit at me. Now there's a bunch of little settings that you can tweak here. You can change the launch sound, you can have impact sounds, you can have it throw from your camera instead, or from any object. Say if you wanted to have some sort of cannon or something in the background, I don't know, I'm spitballing, that throws something when something is redeemed. Like fires a cannonball at you. That's a thing you could do because you can choose the launch position, I guess. And then this shows where to. If you want it to be just any part of the body, you do body random position. If you want it to be specifically like the chest or the head, you would do human body bone, and then you can choose your bones here. I like it being random, personally. Here is all your scale. Mass, if you do this, I think makes it so that it hits harder. I can't tell the difference. I think it is hitting harder, but it's just a little hard to tell. Let's really up that and see if that works. Yeah, so you get to a certain point where you can turn the mass all the way up and it does some real damage when it's thrown. So I'm just gonna set this to, I guess, 100. You can change the speed. Gravity, I like to have my gravity on. You can also turn it off. and it'll just sort of float away after it's hit you, instead of when it's turned on where it will fall after hitting you. So that can be a fun one to mess around with. I will be completely honest, I don't know what launch torque does. Never have. Randomized launch rotation, this just stops it from looking as stiff and samey. So it will do sort of random things each time and launch at a random angle, which you want, ideally. You can also have stick on impact. So it can be thrown to your character and it can stick like this, which is really good for if you wanted something like, I don't know, a cream pie. Like a, you know those pies that people throw, like clowns and stuff. So if you wanted it to stick to their face, you can do that. So that's useful for a few things if you know how to use it. There's also the scale of the impact particles. You can do whatever you want with that. We also have despawn on impact. So when it hits you, it just disappears. I'll be honest, I don't quite get the point of this one. I don't like it as much. I suppose if you made a prop, and then made your own custom particles, you could have it that it hits you and explodes, so it explodes on impact with the prop disappearing. So, you know what, let's test that out right now, why not? I change the particles to Valentine Explosion instead. Then it looks like it's hitting me and popping. So that could be a fun one to mess around with. Yeah, there's a few default particles that come with Warudo already. But that's a basic rundown of how the throw works. Now, let's say you wanted a command that would also throw stuff. So, I don't know, for example, I have a command where you can throw the little yippee creature. So the way that you do that is you go to Twitch again, and on Twitch channel message. Now this is how we're going to set up our commands. I'm just going to rename this. There. You want on Twitch channel message, and then because this is text-based, we want to use a string. So, where is it? We want, it is string equal. There it is. String equal. And we want another if branch. You're probably going to use if branches a lot. So, like normal, we plug the exit into the enter of the if branch. And we're going to plug in our message up here to part A. And I'm going to have ignore case on, personally. Typically Twitch commands are lowercase anyway, so it doesn't matter. And let's say the command is just yippee. So we now have that set up. We want the output boolean to be in the condition. We're going to add another throw prop. True goes into the enter. And you're going to grab your props like we did in the last one. So I can sort of speed through this one now. And I'm gonna get my little yippee guy. There you go. And you just do all the same with your particles. I'm going to, if I can find it, use rainbow explosion. Or maybe not explosion. Explosion's a bit much. Ah, no, that's fine. I'm so picky. So, the reason we're setting up another one of these is, one, so that you can learn the commands, and also because now we can set up some good random sounds. Which means that instead of the thing making the same sound every time it hits you, if you have a sound set up, it will choose one from a playlist you've created. So what we want to do is we need a play sound over here, and you want to plug that into your onCollide. So now let's do this. Now when it hits me, it'll make the yippee sound. I can hear this one, so I can tell that it's working when I press enter. And you can do this as much as you want. You can have fade-ins, you can have fade-outs. They also have custom durations, which is great. But here's where you can have some fun with it, is get random sound. Now what you can do here is you can add any sounds you like. Now I'll probably make a separate video for adding your own sounds and stuff like that, because this one's gonna be chunky enough as is. I'm gonna have a lot that I have to cut out of this because I ramble a lot. And here what we can do is we have, say, yippee, and then you can add another sound. And then do they're all just punches. Slap. Let's add slap. Why not? And we plug that into the sound source. Now it will randomize between the two. And this can be really good to add some variation to your props, even if it's just something like using the same sound and using a separate app to pitch the sound up or down to be less monotonous. And it can really help just add a little bit more life, I think, to the props that are being thrown, instead of them feeling so robotic and repetitive. Because let's face it, it's Twitch. If you have almost any amount of users and they realize they can throw stuff at you, it's going to be happening a lot. So some variation in sound can be really helpful to make things just feel a little more natural. Okay, so we've done bit redeems and we've done commands. Now, what we're going to want to do, I think, is we'll do the follow one. So, now this is going to be sort of your, I guess, widgets. Like, you know how with Streamlabs you have the widgets where it can pop up when you get a new follower, or when someone's been subbed to your channel for a certain amount of time. You can do the same thing in Warudo for a 3D experience, or yeah, whatever you want to call it. So, where we do this is we want to go to Twitch again. I probably will make a YouTube version if I figure it out. I don't have my YouTube linked to here, so I don't know it quite yet, but coming soon. Yeah, want to do on Twitch channel follow. Now this one's a little easier because we have just a little less to worry about with the if variables. Now let's say when someone follows you, you want to spawn confetti on your face. Or, you know, whatever you want to do. So we go to the spawn particle. So this one's really easy. On Twitch channel follow, we go to exit into the enter, like normal. Source. Choose a particle. Say we wanted the confetti cone explosion. And you can attach this to whatever you like. You could have maybe some confetti cannons in the background if you wanted to do something like that, or you could have it launch out of a party popper. You can do whatever you like with this. I am just going to attach this to my character. And I'm gonna have it be just on my head. Because I can. Simple as that. And just so I can see that this is working, because... yeah, there we go. Now, you can move this about as much as you like using the position offsets. I already have one set up in my other scene for my follower cannons. But let's say you wanted to be able to have two at once. The way we do that is we need a sequence. Now a sequence in Warudo is used to have two actions happen at the same time triggered by the same event. So if we plug this into here, now you can see it has two exits coming from the same event. And what this can do is you can have two of these. So say you want one on each shoulder or something. So let's do one on the left shoulder, one on the right shoulder. Now we plug this into exit 1, plug that one into exit 2, and then we enter that, and you can see, well, you can't see because I did an awful job at setting them up. See if this is the right way around. That's good enough. That'll do, pig. There you go. So, now whenever someone follows, you can have confetti coming out of you. And then you could also add some extras like a sticker spawner from online image, local image, whatever you want to do. And you could just spawn that somewhere on the screen to show the follow or to have a little icon. You can do so much with Warudo. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for this tutorial. If there's anything specific that you would like to know, if you want to set up specific things and you just want a little extra help, I am always available in my comments. So do feel free to comment and I'll be happy to either try and run through it in the replies or to even make a separate video if you think it's needed and if you think it'll help people. But yeah, we have our bit redeems, we have our commands with our varied sounds, And we have our Twitch follow particles. So, I think that is it. I hope you have a wonderful morning, day, evening, or night, depending on where you are. And stay cheesy.